So let's have a look at a couple of strategies that will show you how you can find what you actually want to look for. So firstly, let's say we're dealing with a client and you're looking at the client's back and we want to find some information about the scapula. So click on the sign here, plus sign next to posterior view, and a submenu opens here, and the first submenu here, the first entry says quick scan. So let's go for quick scan, and if I have a look at the quick scan, it gives me an overview over the more important landmarks in the horizontal plane and along the plumb line in the vertical plane that should be looked at in connection with postural deviation. So there's just a couple of brief examples to get an overview of what is happening here. But for our intents and purposes, this is probably not enough, and we've got to get into a bit more detail. So by looking at the client, we saw that there seemed to be a problem with the scapula, and the scapula, I don't really know what is it I'm looking for. One looked a bit higher, so let's figure out as to what it is we shall find with the scapula. So if you go back to the table of contents here, so we've got the different entries here, so we've got neck and head, spine and trunk, scapula. Here we go. Click on the plus sign, and they are the things I should look at in relation to the positioning of the scapula. So how the acromion processes are hanging in there, AC joints, the distance ear to shoulder, the angles between neck and shoulder, how the upper trapezius hangs in, medial borders, inferior angles, rhomboids, trapezius, and so on. So in our example, we'll say that the left scapula was up, or acromion process was up. So was it up? I don't know. How shall it hang in there? So we go on acromion processes, and ideal, what you can see here, the acromion processes are level, and I just minimize the table of contents here so we can see the full picture, and you've got a picture what it shall look like in an ideal situation, and you can also see what a deviation will look like. How to get further with the information you've got on the page, we have a look at in another tutorial that explains about the page layout. So for now, as we know what it's like in anterior view, we want to go back to table. In posterior view, we want to go back to table of contents and have a look at the same thing in the anterior view. So anterior view again, we go scapula and we go acromion processes, and this is what we should look at from the front. If we have a look at the lateral view, so if we go lateral view, we go scapula again, and we have a look at the acromion processes, and again this tells us how the acromion processes should hang in. So we go from all three views, anterior, posterior, and lateral view, we get an idea now how it should hang in there, what deviations there are, and what might cause it. So please check the other tutorials for more information.